Hi boys and girls, this is the review homework for adding fractions. Okay, so number 1, 9 and 4/5 plus 1 and 3/4. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to separate the whole numbers, so 9 plus 1, and the fractions. 4/5 plus 3/4. So go ahead and add 9 plus 1, gives us 10. 4/5, we can't add those, we need to find common denominators. And my common denominator is going to be 20. In order to figure that out, remember, find the multiples of both of them. And what did I do to 5 to get 20? I multiplied it by 4. So I'm going to multiply these both by 4/4. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. I'll multiply 3/4 by 5/5. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. So remember, go down, don't go across. So I have 10. And 16/20 plus 15/20 is 31/20. Okay? I'm actually going to bring in another piece of paper. I should have done this on a separate sheet of paper. So my answer was 31/20. Oops, I'm sorry. 10 and 31/20. But 31/20 is an improper fraction, so I have 10 plus, I'm going to pull out 20/20 plus what's left over, 11/20. So I have 10 plus, don't forget this part, some of you, 20/20 turns into 1 plus 11/20, so that's 11 and 11/20. There's my answer for number 1. Okay, number 2. This one is a little bit easier. Pull out my wholes, so it's 1 plus 1 plus my fraction 2/5. 1 plus 1 is 2 plus my 2/5. Gave you some easy ones there. Number 3. I don't have any wholes here. I just have fractions with different denominators. So I need to find common denominators, the same units. So a common denominator for 5 and 2 is, I'm actually going to write this over again so I leave me some space, is 10. So I need to multiply 1/5 by 2/2. So I get 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And I'll multiply 1/2 by 5/5 so that 1 times 5 is 5 and 2 times 5 is 10. Therefore 1/2 is equal to 5/10. Now I can go ahead and add these fractions. 2/10 plus 5/10 is 7/10. Please, please, please do not write it here on the side, because if you get into the habit of going to the side, you're going to do it for every problem. If you get in the habit of writing it down, you'll do that and you won't forget your whole numbers when a problem has them. Okay, number 4, I'm actually going to do number 4 over here on the side, because that way I don't run out of room. I have 3 and 9/14. Oops, sorry, can't see that. Plus 1 and 6/7. So the first thing I need to do is pull out my whole numbers. So I have 3 plus 1 plus 9/14 plus 6/7. Okay, and so I'll go ahead and add my whole numbers. I have 3 plus 1, which is 4, plus, and I always have to add my whole number to whatever operation I'm doing. Instead of 9, I have 9/14 plus 6/7. So I need to change these to common denominators. So I have 4 plus, and my common denominator is going to be 14. And so I need to change these. I'm going to multiply this by 2/2. 9 times 2 is 18. Oh, I see right there. I made a mistake, and this is why I tell you guys always do multi-numerators and denominators, because I noticed right here 14 times 2 isn't 14. So I actually made a mistake. This should be 1/1. So 9 times 1 is 9. Okay. This one I should multiply 2/2. 6 times 2 is 12, and 7 times 2 is 14. Now I can go ahead and add it. 4 and plus 9 14ths plus 12 14ths. Remember, only add the numerators, so 9 plus 12 is, I can't even think right now, 22, and my denominators stay the same, 14. This is an improper fraction, so I have 4 plus, I'm going to pull out 14 14ths, plus, and whatever's left over, 8 14ths. So 4 plus, this turns into 1, plus 8 14ths. This is 5 and 8 14ths. Now I'm going to bring this actually onto another piece of paper, because if my answer is 5 and 8 14ths, okay, this, again, if a number ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it means it's divisible by 2. So 2 times something is going to give me 8 and 14. So 2 times 4 and 2 times 7. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I have 5 and 4 sevenths. You could have also used division, where you divide both of these by 2 halves. I have 5. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 14 divided by 2 is 7. There's your answer. Okay, word problem, your favorite. I know you love word problems. It says, Mr. Pham mowed 2/7 of his lawn. So let me get, here's his whole lawn. And he mowed 2/7. His son mowed 1/3. How much of the lawn still needs to be mowed? This is how much is left. This is what needs to be mowed. This is how many lawns? This is one whole lawn. Therefore, if we add it up, 2/7 plus 1/3, it's going to give us how much was mowed. Okay, so let's figure that out first. I need a common denominator of 21. 7 times 3 is 21, so 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21, so 1 times 7 is 7. 6 21s plus 7 21s is 13 21s. So if I go back to here, I know that this part is 13 21s. But I still need to figure out this part. So if I take my one whole and I subtract how much I've already mowed, which I figured out was 13 21s, I'm going to get what was left. So I need to change this to a mixed or an improper fraction of 21 21s, because I only have one lawn, minus 13 21s. I get 8 21s. Therefore, 8 21s is what was left. Okay, so my there is 8 21s of the lawn left to mow. Okay, that's one way that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is you can take the whole lawn, which is one whole, and you can subtract each one of these. So I could take one whole and subtract 2/7, and I would get 7/7 minus 2/7, which equals 5/7. And then from 5/7 I can go ahead and subtract 1/3, which was what his son mowed. So I'm taking the whole lawn, I'm subtracting, here I'm taking the whole lawn, I'm subtracting what Mr. Pham mode, this is what was left, 5/7, and then I subtract what the son mode, which was 1/3, and again I have to find common denominator. This is times 3/3. And this is 8/21, which I got before. So there's different ways that you can do it. Let's go ahead and look at number 6. Number 6 says 2 3/10 plus 1 3/5. Let's pull out our whole numbers. 2 plus 1 plus my fractions, 3/10 plus 3/5. Okay, 2 plus 1 I have is 3. I cannot add my fractions. I need common denominators, and it's going to be 10. What did I do to 10 to get 10? Well, I multiplied it by 1. And so I need to multiply this one by 1. 3 times 1 is 3. What did I do to 5 to get 10? Well, I multiplied it by 2. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I have 3. And 3/10 plus 6/10, only add the numerators, is 9/10. So there's my answer. Number 7, 11 7/9 plus 1 3/5. Pull out my fractions, or I'm sorry, I'm going to pull out my whole numbers, pull out my fractions. Okay, so I have 12. These need to be changed to common denominators, which will be, 45. So 9 times 5 gave me 45, so 7 times 5 gives me 35. 5 times 9 gave me 45, so 3 times 9 gives me 27. 12 and 35, 45/45 plus 27 45. I don't know about you, but I'm just going to do the math really quickly here. 62. Oops. 62 45. Well, I noticed this is an improper fraction, so I'm going to pull out 45 45 out of 62 45. So I'm going to, so that leaves me with 17 45. So this is 12 plus 1. This is 1, which is 13, and left over is 17 45. And you'll notice I did all my little short math on the side, which is good. Okay. Annabella made 1 1/4 dozens of chocolate chip cookies, 2 3/4 dozens of oatmeal cookies, and some sugar cookies. Ooh, we don't know how much sugar cookies. She just made some sugar cookies. She had 6 1/3 all together. So let me get my cake diagram. Okay, because this is what helps me to figure out what I'm going to do. So here are my chocolate chip cookies, and she made 1 1/4 chocolate chip. She made 2 3/4 of oatmeal. Okay. And some, and then the last one says, and some sugar cookies, but we don't know how much sugar cookies. Some sugar cookies. It says here she had 6 1/3 dozens all together. So all of these together are 6 1/3. How many dozens of sugar cookies did she make? So they want to know this one, sugar cookies. So if I know she made 6 1/3. Okay. And I know that chocolate chip and oatmeal are these two. So, but I know that chocolate chip plus my oatmeal plus my sugar cookies, but I don't know what that is, that's going to give me my 6 1/3. So I can add these up first. So that would be, pull out my whole numbers, pull out my fractions. So I have 3, 1/4 plus 3/4, 4/4. What's 3 and 4/4? 4/4 equals 1 whole, so that's 3 plus 1, so that's 4. So I'm going to rewrite this fraction. Here, 6 and 1/3, which is the total dozen that she made, plus, we just figured out here, the chocolate chip cookies and the oatmeal cookies together were 4 dozen. Not plus, I apologize. It's not plus, it's equals. Those cookies plus the sugar cookies. Okay? And I don't know how much sugar cookies are. So how do I undo plus? If I take how much total she has and I subtract the 4 from it, I'm going to figure out how much sugar cookies she has. Same thing, pull out your wholes. 6 minus 4 plus that 1/3. 6 minus 4, 2 and 1/3. So, where's my sentence fit? Here it goes, fits on the bottom. Annabella made 2 1/3 dozens of sugar cookies. Good. That one was kind of a bonus one, so if you got that one, great. Okay, the back side is really just simplifying. I figured you guys needed some practice simplifying. So you can simplify these in one of 2 ways. So I'll kind of be jumping back and forth in either division or using multiplication. So for this one, if I use multiplication, I think, okay, 5 times 1 are my factors for 5, and for 25, it's 5 times 5. Well, I know that 5 divided by 5 is 1, therefore my simplified fraction is 1/5. Okay, for this one, I'm going to use division instead. Okay, if you don't know division, then use multiplication. But what can I multiply something by to get 8? Well, I know this is 8 and 6, so I'm just going to do it the simplest way is by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Well, 2, 4, 6, 8. And I can also divide these by actually 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it's 1/2. I could have done it a simpler way and just divided both of these by 8, because 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So you can actually do it in many different ways. Okay, the next one. This is an improper fraction. How many times can 4 go into 23? It can actually go into it 5 times, which is 20. How many are left over? 21, 22, 23. There's 3 left over, and my denominator stays the same. So 3 5/4. Okay. This one again, 12 and 20. I'm actually going to do it using multiplication. I know I can do 2 times 6, and I can do 2 times 10. These divide, equaling 1. I have 6/10. Well, I'm going to do the multiples of 6 and 10, which is 2 times 3 and 2 times 5. Oops, apologize about that. Divide those. My answer is 3/5. Okay, there's so many different ways you can do that. 3/7. I can divide both of these by 3. So 3/3. Remember, whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 7 divided by 3 is 9. This is an improper fraction, okay? Because it's 5s, how many times can 5 go into 40? We can just count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's 8 times. And if it's 40, how many are left over? 2 out of 5. Okay, 14/18. I'm going to do my multiples, or my factors, sorry, of 14. So that's 2 times 7. And for 18 is 2 times 9. 2's divide. So I have 7/9. So 14/18 is equal to 7/9. 26/12. Again, this is an improper fraction. So how many 12s can I pull out? Well, you can do it this way as well. 12/12, okay, but I can add more. 12 twelfths. What's 12 twelfths plus 12 twelfths? That's 24 twelfths. So if I have 24, how many are left over? 2 twelfths. So this equals 2 and 2 twelfths. This can be simplified again because it's 2 times 1 and 2 times 6. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my answer is 2 and 1/6. Alright, there's the homework for tonight.